read more children's stories if you like it. But yeah, here, actually, I won't show you the option because I'm not sure how many I'll do. But yeah, so here is the giving tree. The giving tree. Here, let me move the microphone closer to me. The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. The Giving Tree. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come, and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat apples. And they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. And the boy loved the tree very much, and the tree was happy. But time went by, and the boy grew older, and the tree was often alone. Then one day the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and eat apples and play in my shade and be happy." "I am too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money?" "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money and you will be happy." And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away, and the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy, and they said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." "I am too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife and I want children, so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house, but you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy." And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered, "come and play." "I am too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy, but not really. And after a long time, the boy came back again. "I'm sorry, boy," said the tree, "but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone. My teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing on them." "I am too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone," said the tree. "You cannot climb." "I am too tired to climb," said the boy. "I am sorry," sighed the tree. "I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I am just an old stump. I am sorry." "I don't need very much now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could. "Well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest." And the boy did. And the tree was happy. The end. Okay, cool. So that was the Giving Tree. Next we have I Love You, Stinky Face. Written by Lisa McCourt. Illustrated by Sid Moore. "I love you, my wonderful child," said Mama as she took me in, "but I had a question." "Mama, big scary ape, would you still love me then? If you were a big scary ape, I would comb your whole hairy self to make sure you didn't have any tangles. And I would make your birthday cake out of bananas. And I would tell you, I love you, my big scary ape. But mama, what if I were a super smelly skunk and I smelled so bad that my name was Stinky Face? Then I would give you a bath and sprinkle you with sweet smelling powder. And if you still smelled bad, I wouldn't mind, and I would hug you tight and whisper in your ear, I love you, Stinky Face. But mama, what if I were an alligator with big sharp teeth that could bite your head off? Then I would buy you a bigger toothbrush for your big teeth and make sure that you brush them every night so they'd stay healthy and strong. And if you had a sore throat, I would stick my head right inside your enormous jaws to make sure you're okay. And I would say, I love you, my ferocious alligator. But mama, what if I were a terrible meat-eating dinosaur with razor-sharp claws that ripped my sheets to shreds every night while I slept? Then I would give you plenty of meat to eat if that is what you liked, and I would sew your sheets back together every day, because after all, ripping them would be an accident. And I would tuck you into your newly mended sheets every night and say, I love you, my sweet, terrible dinosaur. But mama, what if I were a swamp creature with slimy, smelly seaweed hanging from my body, and I could never leave the swamp or I would die? Then I would build a house right next to the swamp, and I would stay with you and take care of you always. And when you splash to the surface, I would say, I love you, my slimy little swamp monster. But mama, what if I were a green alien from Mars, and I ate bugs instead of peanut butter? Then I would dress you in colors that showed off your nice green skin, and I would pack your lunch with beetles and spiders and ants and grasshoppers and the tastiest bugs you ever had. And I would pack a note with all the bugs that said, I love you, little greenie. Bon appetit. But mama, what if I were a cyclops and I had just one big gigantic eye in the middle of my head? Then I would look right into your gigantic eye and I'd say, I love you, my little cyclops, and I would sing you a lullaby until your one gigantic eyelid got droopier and droopier, and it finally closed and you fell fast asleep. I love you, Mama, and I love you, my wonderful child. Okay, this next one's a long one, I think. Yeah, look, it's really long. Maybe I'll read part of it. I don't know, because I don't think this is necessarily a kid's story. I don't really know. Okay, well, anyways, it's called Circumference and the First Round Table, a Math Adventure by Cindy Neuschwander and Wayne Keon. King Arthur has a problem. When his knights get together, they sit at such a long table that everyone has to shout to be heard. Can Circumference and Lady Di of Amateur measure up to the challenge of building a better table? Explore the castle, watch a tournament, and ride along with Circumference as he searches for the shape of the future. Noisy knights, a clever carpenter, and a juggling jester all add to the fun. We'll see how much we can get through. Long ago, in a land known as Camelot, there lived many knights and ladies. Their ruler was a mighty but gracious man named King Arthur. During many years of peace and good harvests, the people lived happily. The trouble began when they saw the army of their neighbors to the north, gathering at the border. These people, known as the circumscribers, looked as if they might be preparing to make war. King Arthur called upon his bravest and most trusted knights to plan what to do. The knights rode as fast as they could to the king's castle. Circumference lived nearby, so his family came with him. Circumference was married to Lady Di, who came from the town of Amateur. They had a son named Radius. Radius was very small and quite young, but his keen mind and boundless energy more than made up for what he lacked in height and age. After the first day of meetings with all the king's knights, Circumference sat with Lady Di. Oh, he groaned, my throat hurts. I have to shout to be heard at the other end of that long rectangular table. Everyone has to shout, and the king is very upset. Why don't you fix the table? Suggested Lady Di. How can we do that? Circumference asked. Well, said Lady Di, you could cut it in half. Look, here is a drawing of the table. If you had 2 long sides and 2 short sides, if you cut it in half and put the 2 halves side by side, you will have a table with 4 equal sides. Lady Di, what a good idea. Circumference called for the carpenter, Geo of Medjugorje. Geo began to work immediately. The next day, the new table was ready. Everyone commented on the wonderful square shape. However, another problem arose. At each corner of the table, the knights whispered to each other while someone else was talking. Sir Galahad exclaimed, King Arthur, how can we meet to discuss a solution when people talk secretly to each other? Sir Galahad is correct, King Arthur responded. We have come here to talk of defending our land against the circumscribers, not talking secretly. After the meeting, King Arthur told Circumference a new table was needed. That night, Circumference told Lady Di about the problems with the square table. Lady Di thought a moment and then said, what if we cut the square table diagonally? We could put the 2 halves together to make a diamond. She drew a diagram and said the king could sit at one end and you could sit at the opposite end. Everyone would be close to here, but the knights would not be in any tight corners. After seeing the plan, Circumference agreed that it was a good idea. Geo the carpenter said, in carpentry they call the shape a parallelogram. I will have the ready by the morrow. The next day, Sir Lancelot and Sir Gawain were amazed to see a table in the shape of a parallelogram. The others liked it, but King Arthur was not happy sitting at a sharp point. The king let the knights have jousting practice and sword play while he spoke with Circumference. Circumference, the point of the table sticks into me like a sword. We need to think about ways to prevent war, but this table makes me feel like fighting. Can you fix it? I will do my best, sire, said Circumference. That afternoon he stood by the field and watched the others joust. It was a beautiful day with blue skies and flags flapping in the breeze. Sir Gawain's flag was blue with a white cross, Sir Lancelot's flag was green with lions, and Sir Torre's flag was green with an eagle. The flags were all similar in shape. They were all triangles. That's it, said Circumference, a triangular table. Circumference called Geo and explained. Geo said if we cut the parallelogram table in half, that would leave 2 triangles. 1 triangle might be too small. So they measured the proposed triangle table and realized that 4 people could not sit on each side. Geo, let's think some more, said Circumference, and he went to discuss shapes with Lady Di. Yes, said Lady Di, the triangles would be too small. So cut off the corners like this and make an octagon. Look, it will solve the problem. When the knights sat at the octagon table, each one wanted a side all to themselves. 8 sides and 12 knights who would share a side with another. They agreed that the king should have a side all to himself because he was their leader, but that left 7 sides and 11 people. Knights, let there be order, said King Arthur calmly. We need to remember that we are here for the defense of our land. How can we talk at this table with its problem of corners and sides? Circumference, have the carpenter build a table shaped like an egg, and perhaps then we will behave more like a flock. Circumference drew plans for an oval table for Geo. This table is going to be harder to build since it has no straight edges, said Geo. I will begin at once. When the knights met again, they were all impressed by the oval table. Sir Lancelot suggested they raise their goblets and drink a toast. All the knights raised their goblets, but there was a great commotion from the ends of the table. The knights at the end of the oval table bumped into the king as they raised their goblets. No one had enough room. Some of the knights began to argue. Then King Arthur shouted, Stop, all leave me until tomorrow except for Circumference. After talking to King Arthur, Circumference returned home discouraged once again. Radius piped up, Father, when I have a problem I cannot solve, I do something else for a while. Why don't we go for a ride? That afternoon, Circumference, Radius, and Lady Di went riding. No one said much until Radius shouted, Father, look, a tree has fallen over. So it has, observed the knight. Did you see, Father? There's your table. Lady Di got off her horse for a closer look. She stood on her tiptoes and stretched her arm up as high as it could go. Her fingertips just met the upper edge of the trunk. It should be big enough, she said. This part is as tall as I can reach, and the wood seems to be of good quality. Circumference summoned Geo to cut out crest section off the trunk to make into a tabletop. Leave the bark on the outside edge, he told Gio. I like it rough, its rough feel. Gio and his helpers sawed through the huge tree trunk. Then they hoisted the heavy slab into an ox cart, and off they went to Gio's workshop. Gio worked all night building the new table. When the knights met the next day, the table was finished. Everyone was content. No one shouted or whispered. No one felt cornered or trapped. No one was poked in the stomach, and no one felt squished. Everyone had an equal position around the table. As they talked, they decided their best plan was try to make peace with their neighbors. King Arthur was so pleased that he announced they would celebrate that night. Soon, everyone was enjoying the music, dancing, and banquet. Suddenly, the music stopped. A messenger rushed in and handed a sealed parchment to King Arthur. The king read it and smiled. Ladies, knights, and guests, I have excellent news. The circumscribers are not planning an attack. They want only to measure the area of their kingdom. There will be peace in the land. Hooray! Everyone cheered till the king held up his hand for silence. To honor those knights who gathered at this table to save our kingdom, let them henceforth be known as the Knights of the Round Table. Let us thank Circumference and Lady Di and their son Radius. They made this round table possible. Everyone cheered again. Furthermore, because Lady Di of Amateur has a reach that is equal to the distance across this table, we'll name this measurement for her. We'll call it the diameter. I am proud of Radius too, added King Arthur. Someday he will become a fine knight. He may be small, but he has tall ideas. Everyone nodded and clapped. Let us call this small measurement from the center to the circle of it to its edge the radius. Finally, let us not forget our clever Circumference. Since it was his idea to leave the bark on the outside edge of our table, we'll name the outside edge of any circle after him. Let us call it the Circumference. Circumference bowed to the king as everyone rose from their seats and began cheering and whistling and stomping their feet. It was the happiest celebration that anyone could remember.